What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a great day in the stock market. I closed out $3,709.57 in profit today, and I want to talk about some of the stocks that are absolutely killing it for me and what I expect them to do in the near future. So if you want to know what to buy, or at least some ideas to buy, because I'm not a stock advisor, I'm just a guy who trades stocks, so don't take this as advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But if you want some ideas and want to know what I think, keep watching, because this stock is absolutely killing it and it's taken off, and this pattern's really predictable. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right, guys, so the stock is TSNP, and if you've watched my previous stock videos, you should probably know what I'm gonna be talking about today, but it literally has done the exact same thing so many times, and I expect it to keep doing this pattern. So it's absolutely been killing it. This stock is from I think it's 1/10 of a penny. It's gone up for 1/10 of a penny, and now it's at like 33 cents or something like that. So I mean, I don't even know. It's like 50,000% or more gain in the last month or two. I've made a ton of money on it, but it is, I think, getting to the point where it's a little bit overextended again. And normally this stock is the type of thing that, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but there's a typical investor saying that says, buy the hype, sell the news, and this stock generally goes along with that. So like, it has really, really good news coming up and the stock will go up, but then when the actual news releases, like the fact that they're retiring 500 million shares, which makes all the people who own shares, their shares are more valuable, that's really good news. But the day that news comes out, the stock tanks because the hype has already been priced into the stock. And I think a similar thing is happening right now. So if you look at the chart, it's been pretty green for the last couple of days now. I think the last 3 days it's been green, ever since it had those down days, and it broke out to 52-week highs, and it's going on up. So there is a conference call on December 9th, and you had to register by 5 p.m. today to be able to take part of that. So maybe there's some way to get into it still. I'm definitely registered, but I don't know if there's some other way to do it, some blacklist site that you can find the conference call on if you're not already signed up for it, because if you're watching this video at this point, it is too late. But definitely, I think the stock is going up right now because of that. And I would be very confident that on the day that happens, it's going to tank, just because it's already had a lot of hype and people are going to be taking profits, etc. So I mean, they could have great news talked about in the conference call and the stock could still drop. So that is what I expect to see it do. Now this stock, if you guys haven't done the research for it, again, this has very strong potential overall long-term. Basically, it is a cash app type app that's a lot cheaper than all the big banks, anything that people have access to, and the potential clientele is like all of South America, all of, Africa, basically all these countries that are developing and just starting to get into this type of thing, but they don't really have a good way to send money to each other, especially between different currencies and stuff like that. And this is a really, really good option for that. So like long-term, the future of this company, I think it's great. But I personally prefer not to buy and hold stocks that have the potential to have these 50% drops in an hour. So if I can sell the stock high, knowing it's going to drop, and then dip buy when it's bouncing off and coming back up, that is a much preferable option, because I don't hold and hope and risk so much of my money. So I'm currently all sold out of this stock. I sold the rest of it today because it's up so much. There's a good chance it could continue to run tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if it did that, but I couldn't take that chance. But I think at least if it doesn't tank tomorrow, it should probably see a decent drop, probably a morning panic, the day of the investors call, which is on Wednesday, December 9th. So I'm going to be looking to dip buy that, and I know a lot of other people are, just because this stock is so predictable in terms of the dip buys. Like, it has a massive panic. These sellers are insurmountable. You just see it bam, 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 go all the way down, and then as soon as it turns, there's just a wave of buyers, and it's bam, 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 bam. So if you get in on it right as it's turning, it is the perfect opportunity, and there's very good risk reward, because if it turns, goes up just a little bit, and goes back down, you just cut at your entry point and you break even or lose a little bit. But the potential for gain is huge. Like, you could make 30% in 10 minutes, which if you're going in with any type of size is like great. You put in $1,000, that's $300 in 10 minutes, which is more than most people make working all day long. So I think it's a really good option. And actually, if you watched my previous video, I talked about the potential to use this on demand from TD Ameritrade on Thinkorswim, which allows you to look back at the live stock, basically data as it's coming in for any day back, I think, for a couple months, and they now have that available. It takes 2 days for it to be available, so when I made the video, it wasn't, but now it is. So I'm actually gonna dive in there and show you guys what this morning panic looks like and how you can tell when it flips. And it's a little more choppy on here than I would like. It doesn't print exactly, when it happened on the second, if that makes sense. So like, obviously 1 second is kind of a long time in trading, so someone could buy within the first 1/10 of a second or at the last 1/10 of a second, and this just prints them all. Anything within 1 second, it prints at the same time. So it makes it a little more choppy, a little harder to read. It's actually easier in real time, but it's still very nice, in terms of going back and seeing what it looks like, so you can see when it turns. Just so you can see what it looks like when it prints on the time and sale, a ton of green, and then it flips to, or a ton of red, and then it flips to green. So let's go into that now, just so you guys can have a good idea of what to look for on this dip buy. All right, guys, so here I am at my computer. Hopefully you can see it. Just to reiterate, yeah, so this is what the morning panic looks like. So you can see this is a 1-minute candle, so it literally did not go up at all. It went straight down for every single one of these 10-minute candles. And then as soon as it rebounded, there was a huge spike in volume. Everyone hopped in. It was very easy to tell on the time and sales. And then it just completely rebounded. And you can see it went from 15 cents all the way up to 22 cents here. That's when I made the video. And then the very next day, if I go in, where is it? If I go in here, it's slightly more choppy, but I mean, still, like, this just absolutely tanks. And I would say this is not big enough of a morning panic to really take advantage of. So I would look for a big one, because again, you can see here it goes from 17 all the way down to, it bounces off, what is that, 10, yeah, 10.2 cents basically. And then it runs all the way back up, to 14. You could have easily sold at 14 from that. So definitely has a lot of potential for that. And if we go in here, this is the live price action. So I can go, let's go to December 1st at like 8:35. So let's go there. There we go. All right, yeah, so here you can see it's starting to tank. If we zoom in a little bit, here you can see all the shares being sold. It's down to 23. Still going, have a little bit of green, but you can see the sellers are a lot bigger than the buyers in general. Now it broke under 23, still going down. And the stock it'll just keep going and keep going and keep going. Lots of big red prints, mostly red prints. Again, this is easier to read in real time, so just keep that in mind. It tries to print green a little bit, but overall, not really going anywhere. On the 1-minute candles, you try to have a green 1-minute candle there, but it's not above the other red candle yet, and then it just keeps dropping. Now we have 22 even. Tries to bounce a little bit, but now you see it broke under 22. Just keep dropping. 22 becomes the ask instead of the bid. Still dropping. Dropping more. And next time this happens, I gotta record it, I think live, just so you guys can see what I look at, just to make it a little easier to understand my decision making, because this is more choppy than it is on the actual thing. But you can see, like, still there's not really any great buying opportunities. It didn't even hold, 20 cents at all, which should be a huge psychological number. Like, there's some big buyers here. They still get taken out. It can't even bounce back above 20 cents, and then it just keeps dropping. Now it's all the way at 19 cents, 19 even. The sellers are in absolute control right now. Buyers are not making any headway. Look at these massive sellers, 100,000, 100,000, 184,000. Already broke under 18, straight to 17. 100,000. Down in the 16s now. Low 16s. 100,000, 100,000. And there are some buyers in there. So that's generally a good sign that it might be starting to turn. So keep your eye out for that. But I mean, look at these sellers, bro. 200,000, 200,000, 300,000 all at once. That's like 1 million shares sold right there. And again, 200,000, 200,000. Starting to see some buyers in here. Printing half green. A little more than half green now. And generally, whole psychological numbers are a good thing. So now it's starting to bounce. You see some huge 200,000 buyers there, and boom. That's when you start to buy. You can cut at 15 if it cracks. And it's already up. I ended up chasing this one because I didn't get filled. So I had to set a limit order, and I had to set it for like 18 again, which was crazy. So definitely be ready for the bounce and set your buy order for above, because these OTC stocks are a lot harder to get executed on. So if you set it for right where it's bouncing, like say it bounces off of 15 and you try to put it at 15.3, like you're not going to get executed. You put it at 15.5, you probably won't get executed. So on a crazy bounce like this, I would honestly probably put it like probably 2 cents above. So I would put it like 17 to make sure you get executed, because your broker's still going to get you the best price that they can, but my broker won't even let me use a market order on this. So I have to use limit orders. And if you use a limit order of say even 16 cents, like you see it bounce off 15, you're like, all right, I want this stock for a maximum of 16 cents. It might be trading below 16 cents for 20 seconds and you don't get executed, and then it's above and suddenly you're never going to get executed. So that's the one frustrating thing about OTCs. You have to give up a little bit of your executions, a little bit of that leeway, if you don't have a really good broker. So I'm probably going to upgrade brokers. I'm still between Interactive Brokers and Centerpoint Securities. But right now Fidelity is, it's okay. It's just, again, there's a lot of issues with it. So definitely want to upgrade that sometime soon. But you can see this bounce is absolutely beautiful, like completely green, all these green candles. A little bit red here. So you just want to watch it, see where it starts to go. I would say if this dropped below 19, you'd probably want to cut it. But luckily, it's clean, man. It just keeps going up. On the 1 minute candles, there's not a single red candle yet. So you keep letting this bad boy run. Still some pretty big buyers. And again, the more red you see on it, the more likely that it's turning, especially if it's red with size. So if you see a bunch of 100,000 sellers, it's generally a bad sign. Otherwise, it's probably fine. So yeah, hopefully this helped you guys. And just remember to make sure you use the time and sales. You can use these level 2. I actually don't even have this on Fidelity. All I have is, I'm not sure if that's called the level 1 or what that is, but just this thing here. So I don't even have this, but if you have this, even better. This is level 2, which allows you to see, kind of deeper people who are bidding and asking. But yeah, I mean, look at that bounce. That's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. So take advantage of this and look for, if the stock continues to go up tomorrow, look for it to crack on Wednesday. And if it cracks tomorrow on Tuesday, then look to buy that dip. So anyways, that is all for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe, because I'm always talking about good stocks you should buy. Make that guap. And yeah, check out my other video. I'm also going to be posting another investing video today about why I closed out my position in PLNHF plus 2,800. So hopefully that helps, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.